What is Likert's 4 systems of management? Well, this is a model in theory that focuses on the different approaches of management towards the flow of information and the empowerment of employees in decision making. And thus, this is a leadership model to the extent that it inspires or motivates employees. The first approach is the exploitative authoritarian system. This is where in a very structural organization, very hierarchical, information tends to flow downward. Decision making is made by higher level management and it's pushed down to lower levels for execution. Very little involvement in the system. The lower level employees are motivated through fear of repercussions of not doing as they're told. A benevolent authoritarian system, this is the next system, focuses on rewarding employees for compliance. Decision making is still top down, it's still pushed down, but there's more communication from the bottom up to the top to inform decision making. But once again, decision making does take place at higher levels of management and is pushed down. It's just the reward system gains additional levels of buy-in from lower level employees. Then you have the consultative authoritarian system, and this system focuses on integrating the input of lower level employees into the decision making process. There's a dual flow of information up and down the chain of command. Still, you have authoritarian approach to making decisions, but once again, the lower level employees are heavily consulted. There's additional buy-in because they feel a sense of ownership, because their opinions have been listened to and heard in the process. And then lastly, participative system is where employees actively participate in decision making. That is, it may be through vote, it may be through collective decisions or inputs as to potential options, but there's a high degree of participation and the highest degree of buy-in for the individual employees at the lower level. But once again, decision making is the key characteristic here, whether it's being made at a higher level or whether a great deal of it is delegated to a lower level. The model you see here is a good illustration of these approaches. Now, in assessing the management style being employed or determining which one is being employed and in which category it fits, you can look at various forces at play. One, what motivational forces are used by leadership as part of the process? What leadership processes, that is, what level of oversight, what level of inspiration, what level of motivation is created directly by the leadership structure, not just the forces that exist in the organization. What is the decision-making processes? Are there formalized standard processes, or is it very haphazard? What is the communication flow and how does that look like? Is it very formalized or is it very relaxed communication style? Is there low power distance in the organization? Interaction influence processes, that is, to what extent do individuals interact collectively and have influence over others? Is there interrelated work teams? Is there close interaction between leaders and subordinates? Control processes, this is the review process of how things are going or the processes, how they're being implemented. So it's more the controlling function of management, how that's implemented. And then the planning function, the goal setting processes and the extent to which lower level employees are again involved in that. As part of this theory, Likert also identified key individuals that interlink individuals from different groups within the organization to understand how they come together or how they interact. Sometimes this is the leader, sometimes this is a member of different groups within the organization and called these linking pins. But in summary, Likert's 4 systems identifies a sliding scale of how management approaches the leadership process through decision making and how that affects the level of motivation of the subordinates involved in the process.